In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always. Welcome to another edition of the Reality's Temple on Earth. Of course, I am the host or the gatekeeper of this internet ministry. On YouTube, I am known as the mighty Angelsnupnup07's, your brother and hopefully your friend, Taalik, Ibn'rad. I hope you enjoy the video that follows this introduction. Again, peace forever and always, and respect you. Peace forever and always. This is your brother, Taalik Ibn'rad, and welcome to another edition of the Reality's Temple on Earth. And of course, I'm your host. There I am, right? I'm gonna hide behind this picture today, okay? That's what I'm gonna do, like a whole lot of folks do. Got a whole lot to say. I'm gonna stop making videos and just hide behind this picture right here. I'm just kidding. I'm your host, Brother Taalik Ibn'rad. Let's get to it. Did you know, contrary to popular belief, that black people cannot be racist? And I know there are a lot of other folks out there that might disagree. And that's your, as Bobby Brown would say, that's your prerogative. That's your prerogative. But your prerogative doesn't mean it's necessarily true. Prior to the European coming into power, or this particular race of Caucasians being a dominant influence and power in the world, to my knowledge, you can teach me, okay? You can teach me. But to my knowledge, there was no such thing as racism. Racism is an after effect of what is called white supremacy, where the Caucasian people, knowing they were the actual minorities on the planet, created a system to make them or keep them in that dominant realm. Also to protect them from genetic annihilation, because they knew if they mixed in with the darker people, mixing with darker people would cause them to go extinct. So with white supremacy, this helped them remain in power and protect their race from genetic annihilation. So when they decided to take black people and bring them into this country, the black man was not meant to become a citizen. He was meant to be an animal, a beast of burden. So a system was designed in order to keep him in that position based on racial superiority, white supremacy. Racism comes from the practice of white supremacy, your race being dominant over another. It is impossible for black people to be racist because in order to be a racist, you have to take advantage of the fact or your skin color. Because the world that's around you is born and made where it uplifts the light or the white or the Caucasian, and it degrades and makes inferior those who are dark. So in this society, Caucasian people control the educational system of blacks, control the employment of blacks, control the economics of blacks. Black people don't make none of the laws. They are under total 100% domination of white people. Even till 2009, because these blacks don't even mind being under the domination of whites. They still carry their slave master's name from 300 years ago. They are still Johnson and Jackson and all these Caucasian names because they still have a connection to the slave master. White people don't carry African names. White people are not educated by black people. Their society is not controlled by the economics of black people. They are not held down or made inferior or done bias against because of their race, because their race are the ones in control. Now, black people can dislike you. They can hate you if they wish, they choose to do so. They can become an employer and fire you because of your race. But you see, you can get fired because of your race, but you're not dependent on black people to give you no job. Black people are dependent upon whites to give them jobs. They're dependent on whites to educate them. They are dependent on this white government that is rooted in white supremacy for their well-being. So they cannot be racist because they have no control. They cannot do anything to you. But you can take advantage if you're a Caucasian because this society is rooted in Caucasian supremacy. You can take advantage of your white skin and do things to darker people that he can't do to you because it is your people who are in control. It is funny to me that certain Caucasian people or white people, however you want to, Europeans, however you want to call yourself, they're always trying to share evil and wicked things with others. Because you are racist. You want to share, you want to try to make black people racist, in which that's something they cannot do. You want to share it with them. And you want to call black people murderers and drunkards and all these other different things when it's bad. When it's bad. You want to say that black people own slaves. They did. There were black people that owned slaves. And you want to say, well, some black people own slaves, and they did. But they don't run this country. They didn't make the laws. You put them in that position to do that. Then this nation became rich off slavery. These black people didn't become world powers because they owned slaves, but you did. Now, you want to share the blame that some black people own slaves, but you don't want to share the richness with them. You don't want to share your power with them that you gained from your slave owning days, and you still exploit people. People, not only black people, may not be slaves per se, but they are exploited. We know that we are underworked and underpaid, and a certain class is held up high. And if you're not part of that class, you are exploited. So a rich man can commit a murder, And a poor man can commit a murder, but because I got some money, my chances of not being punished is much greater. But as a poor person, or one who is biased against because I'm dark-skinned, the chances of me seeing the death chamber, having a chemical put in my veins, suffering the death penalty, the chances of me being punished like that is much higher than a rich person. But the point I want to make, again, is that black people are in no position and don't fit the criteria to be racist because they don't have any power. And then racism was formed and come from out of this creation of white supremacy in order for white people to maintain their domination of the world based on race, as well as protect their race from genetic annihilation, because if you mix with darker people, it will make your race become extinct. And that is what so many of those who know are trying to prevent. This is your brother, Taalik Ibn'rad. I may be wrong. If so, jot down your comments and let's talk about it. Y'all have a nice day. And this was and is the realities temple on earth. Peace. Peace forever and always. This is your brother, Taalik Ibn'rad, and once again, welcome to another edition of the Realities Temple on Earth. And of course, I'm your host, Taalik Ibn'rad. Time flies when we're having fun, so let me get straight to the DC, to the dozy, to the desert. Oh, it's very hard for me to get here. Many of you know that I am a former member of the Nation of Islam. For those of you who do not know who the Nation of Islam is, but we associate the Nation of Islam with the great Malcolm X. Perhaps you heard of him, and I am very sure some of you have heard of this organization of black people that call the white man the devil. I am a former member, and this goes back to the early 1980s. When I was a member of the Nation of Islam, we were or had allies with the Hebrew Israelite nation. And I believe at that time, the founder or one of the lead elders of the Hebrew Israelite nation was Yahweh ben Israel. And to my knowledge, that faction or division of the Hebrew Israelite nation, they actually moved to Israel. So I'm not familiar with their activities at this point, but I do know that those Hebrew Israelites were very nice brothers and sisters. They supported the Nation of Islam, and the Nation of Islam supported them. We had very cordial relations. It was wonderful. But now, in 2009, I am very shocked and very disappointed in those who call themselves Hebrew Israelites. I used to live in New York City, and Hebrew Israelites were known to be out on the streets, not hollering and screaming at people, but peddling their wares. They would sell these different types of perfumes and other items that they thought that black people could use in their homes. But now, instead of a whole lot of peddling of wares, trying to be nice to black people so they can hear the word of God that's good for their salvation. Now on the streets of New York and now on the streets of Philadelphia and Detroit, you have Hebrew Israelites who are on the corners, dressed in some kind of manufactured ancient type people wardrobe. Some of them not even wearing shoes. They wear sandals and it's 20 degrees below zero outside, trying to mimic somebody they don't know nothing about, hollering and screaming at black people. In fact, these Hebrew Israelites, some of them on the streets, used to be proud of their pretty white outfits. They're on the street. They don't take any baths. They stink, hollering and screaming and talk about how Yahweh or whoever is going to come and save the black people. Disrespectful to women. I don't understand the women in the Hebrew Israelite nation can stand being subservient to men, calling them out of their names. And even here on YouTube, they will call you a nigger. How the hell you going to call me a nigger, but yet still you talk about this God is for my salvation, and nigger is a word derived from the oppressor. So if you call me a nigger using the words of the oppressor, what that makes you? They talk all this thing about the Bible and God's salvation, but they are violent and get ignorant with black people. How can you say that you care about the black people in America, hollering and screaming at them, calling them out of their names? And in some instances, even now, you have the Hebrew Israelite men running around in their neighborhood, terrorizing black people. In fact, some have killed black people. This is a fact. How are you going to care about black people and tell them about their salvation and you murdering them? There's nothing nice about it. I don't know who these Hebrew Israelites are. And let me tell you something, Hebrew Israelite. Jews don't have a history more than 900 years. The Hebrew don't have a history longer than 900 years. There were no Jews in Hebrew during the time of the Jesus of the Bible. There was no Hebrews during the time of Moses. That history only lasts 900 years. You don't want to hear that. Your information is wrong because your historical reference is the Bible. And the Bible was used to enslave our people and bring them into America. You taking the same Bible, trying to attempt to justify what you're talking about. It's the same book that caused the problem. How you going to use the Bible to uplift and awaken the masses of the people when it was the Bible was the same tool used by the oppressor to put them to sleep? And so now, here you are, calling women out of their names, having no respect for the mother of the nation, with your nasty, ragged ass on the street corners. You can't answer no questions. So all you can do is cuss people out, like you done me, because you're a chump. Then you can kill black people, but you made no attempt to harm Esau, whatever you want to call the white man, or the government of America that has done the dirty deed. You ain't done nothing to them, but you go around killing black folks and cussing them out. Hebrew Israelite. Who the hell who do you think you impressed? You ain't impressed me none. And if you represent God, I damn sure don't want nothing to do with it. And I would suggest all black people to stay the hell away from you, because if you represent God, I don't want to have You shouldn't want nothing to do with nothing like that. A bunch of murderers and disrespectful, ignorant-ass people. And you think that's good on the streets, trying to scream at somebody, and you look silly, dressing up like ancient people you never met, that never existed. You should be ashamed to be so ignorant, yet still you think that you got all this knowledge. Talking about the white man, and you uplift the Bible. The white man, who wrote it then? You show me the black man that wrote the Bible.
Peace forever and always. This is your brother, Taalik Ibn'rad, and this is the Reality's Temple on Earth. I just want to say, and this might be a very sensitive video. It should not be, but it must be said, because there is an illusion that some certain individuals, or perhaps a race of people, are better than others. The subject of this video is Jewish rabbis arrested in New Jersey. This makes me say, or makes me go, In the 1990s, Arsenio Hall used to say on his show, things that make me go, Now, whenever you speak of Jewish people, and it is in a negative manner, many people are always called anti-Semitic. But now we have a situation where not one, not two, perhaps up to 4 Jewish rabbis are arrested in New Jersey for laundering money in the sale of human organ. What the hell? Now, according to some, Jewish people are the chosen people of God. So here we are, and we have the chosen people of God involved in criminal activity. This is what I want to say before my time runs out. We need to stop tripping off of race. We have individuals. No matter what you do, this is a human problem. We have a problem with obeying law that is beneficial to us and our survival as human beings. And the reason why we have a problem with that is because many of us are we're not human. We are called that, but we don't act nowhere near human. Here you are, the chosen people of God, Jewish people. Again, Jew is a race. It's not a race. It is not a race. A Jew belongs to those who believe in the Torah or Judaism. There is no such people in the history of man. There is no such people as Jews. You can call me anti-Semitic, Semitic, or however you want to call it. There is no such thing. Even so, you have been charged with criminal activity. And you don't hear a lot of folks say that. Now, if it's black people, they say, look, there go the blacks. They stole this. They killed this person. But here you are. These are the spiritual leaders of Judaism. These are the rabbis. This is not the followers. These are not the people who come to the synagogue each and every once a week or however they do their worship. These are the spiritual leaders. Now, if the spiritual leaders, not 1, not 2, perhaps up to 4, if they are involved in criminal activity, what does that tell you? That tells me it's not a Jewish problem, it's a human problem. If you are the chosen people of God, then why are you taking or participating in criminal activity? Even the state of Israel itself was not created by God. It was created by those who used the sympathy of what is called the Holocaust in order to be justified in kicking people off land that was already there. There were already people in this land that they now call Israel. In 1948, it was American and British forces that pushed the Palestinians off of their land, and then, using the Holocaust as an excuse, Zionists, or those who were advocating a separate homeland for those who believe in Judaism. And that's another thing too. Why is a religion given special privileges that a religion needs a country? Are there Christian countries or Islamic countries like that? But again, here we are. And you can call me anti-Semitic or whatever you wish. Then you need to call CNN, CNBC, and all these other news places that's reporting that Jewish rabbis have been charged with a crime in New Jersey. In fact, many Jews, the chosen people of God, aren't there prisons in Israel? Don't Jewish people murder? Don't Jewish people steal? But here we are. You always want to, Jewish people always want to be seen as some kind of angels. There are no angels in the human family. We all got problems. When the scriptures talk about the destruction, there's not going to be no chosen people of God. And if you are the chosen people of God, you are a bad example for who the chosen people of God is supposed to be. You're a bad representation of the Creator. That's what I wanted to sing and bring to our attention in this video.
Peace forever and always. This is your brother, Taalik Ibn'rad. And of course, this is the Reality's Temple on Earth. What brings me to this video is that I was speaking with I guess I could describe him as a racist Caucasian person. And the subject was black separation from this nation. Matter of fact, I believe the comment appeared on the video of which I made, talking about the arrest of Brother Louis Gates, the professor in Cambridge, Massachusetts. In the video, I suggest that we can avoid all of these things if black people just separate from this primarily racist country. And in the comments of the video, this particular person, I could see him in the background applauding, and he supported my suggestion that black people should indeed pack up their bags and go back to Africa. America will be a much, much better place. He was so happy until I made the following comment. And I'm sure that many racist Caucasians and even some Uncle Tom Negroes will be happy that some of us who complain about the good old USA would pack our bags up and leave and go back to Africa. Well, first of all, I don't know anything about Africa. The United States of America is all that I know. I have no connection to Africa. To go back to Africa is just words. it is far from a reality. Unless, of course, you're going to use your military and use force to kick a certain of us that complain about our treatment in this country out, then that's a different story. But until then, I told this person, I am very happy that you agree with me in that the real solution to the problems of the so-called black man in America is separation. I also told him this, of which he had no reply. I said, we should leave America, like you said, sir, and we should go back to Africa, perhaps, or any country that was nice enough to treat us equally, giving us freedom, justice, and equality. Then once we establish in that nation, and when we become strong, then we should build a mighty army and come back to America and defeat the racist Caucasians that are here. We will give the country back to the native people and be friends with the native people and kick the Caucasian races out of America, which once belonged to the natives peoples. And send your ass, since we were forced to go back to Africa, then we're going to send your ass back to Europe. And once you believe and establish yourself back in Europe, then we're going to come again and kick you out of Europe because you're not even native in Europe. The Native Americans are people who are native to this land. Sending us back to Africa, even though we're not native because we have been tainted and we have been raised by this racist society, but our genes tell us and suggest that we are native to Africa. So for us to go back to Africa would be correct, as we are native. We are a native life form upon that land. But you are not native anywhere. Native meaning being natural to that environment, being natural to that landmass. You are not native in North America. You are not native in Asia. You are not native in Africa. Not even in Europe. You have close ties to Europe, but you're not even native there. So where do you belong? Racist Caucasian person, since you want to send people, I would suggest, since you're so interested in the moon, that you hop the latest space shuttle and take your ass there. And you will be native there. Because believe me, I don't want nothing to do with living on the moon. Nor do anybody with any common sense. As the moon is not designed to support our life forms. So you can take your happy ass there. He didn't like my response because he wants black people to leave here and forget what this nation done to them. That is the fear among your leaders. See, people like you, sir, are small-minded. The leadership, the scientists of the United States of America and Europeans understand this concept. They are afraid if black people come together and separate from whites, they will unite forces and bring upon them the terrorism and the hell that they placed upon all the dark people, the Asians, the Native Americans. You have given them all hell. In fact, you have given, since the racist Caucasian European peoples have come into power, you have given everything, all life, even microorganisms, hell on this planet. The animals cannot live peacefully. You shoot them for fun, and you put them in zoos, and you walk them on leashes, and you play with life like it's nothing. You take this planet and you rape it for all the oil, every diamond, anything that you can find that you believe is of value. One of the worst mistakes you can make is to talk about sending black folks to Africa. Because sending black folks to Africa might be the beginning of your end. Because then the black man, without your wicked influence, can begin to think for himself and realize whom the real troublemaker has been all the time. This is what smart white folks is scared of. That blacks will leave this country and join alliances with one of their enemies and come back and do to them what was once done. So that's not a very good thought. That racist Caucasian person had no reply and been silent ever since. You don't like that idea of your country being destroyed and taken over, but you had no problem with becoming rich of black slavery and blood. Then you want to send folks back to Africa and don't want to pay for it either. You want it all, don't you? That ain't how it goes. This is your brother, Taalik Ibn'rad. Just wanted to slide that by you. And I want to suggest to us to keep banging, like Brother Sarah Sutanseti said, keep banging on the bass. And peace. Peace forever and always. This is your brother, Taalik Ibn'rad, and this is the Reality's Temple on Earth. I was getting ready to shut this video making thing down for a while, and actually it's sort of getting boring to me, and I'm going to have to take another break. It's boring. Really, it's very watching videos all day long and whatever, it's become boring. There's nothing challenging to the mind. At first, when I first began watching videos on YouTube, certain videos, certain individuals were attractive to me, and it helped feed my mind. If information does not feed my mind, it becomes too childish, infantile. That's my favorite word, infantile, because that's exactly immaturity. The majority of people here on YouTube are between 16 and their early 30s. They have no life experience. They really don't read and research anything. It's all emotion. You can hear the emotions in their voice. So, with that said, I was just about to shut it down, and I got this video response, I believe, from Big Boss Calvin. I think that's what his name used to be. Big Boss Calvin. I believe it's the same person. Big Boss. His video response to a video I made, the true forced loneliness murders. Now, since that time, one of the lead persons, I believe, Dwayne Holloway, has sent me emails, and some other persons who also are followers, or they advocate, they belong to the True Force Loneliness movement. They've sent me very hateful sounding, angry emails. Let me say this. You can have all the anger that you want. You can cuss, you can rant, and you can rave. You cannot make nobody like you. You cannot make no woman date you. You can holler and whoop and do whatever you want to. There are people, and you're not the first ones, who never had a girlfriend, who never had a boyfriend. You're not the first, you won't be the last. I want to say this to you. I've never hollered at you. I don't use profane words toward you. I have an opinion. You're always quoting about the United States Constitution, where we have freedom of speech. So, I'm exercising my right of freedom of speech. But of course, here on YouTube, you know, that's something that's just words, because you can be flagged. My original account was flagged because they didn't like my words. Videos hurt them. So I have an alternate account on YouTube, and I also have alternate accounts on TubeWatcher. So if you don't find me somewhere in the YouTube universe, you can find me on TubeWatcher. So get the flagging, bastards. Flagging because you kiddish. And that's what makes this whole thing boring to me. It is also boring for you to come to me and say that you understand murder, Dwayne. You can understand why this man went out and killed 3 innocent women. Even if he knew them, you can understand murder. Because I'm lonely, I'm going to go out and kill somebody. What if everybody did that? And you can understand it. Big boss, you tried to explain this thing to me. You did a very poor job. And I like to respond by saying this to you. Accept responsibility for yourself. Stop being excuse makers and blaming everybody. It's the government, it's the women, look at yourself first. I was locked up for 10 years in a state mental institution. Or any prison. Let's just take any prison for example. Here are men who have been denied the right to be with women. But in a jail, in a prison, in a mental facility, these men have girlfriends, they have wives, they get married in jails and prisons and mental institutions. You want me, and you expect the public to accept this true forced loneliness ideology, and that's another thing. You can believe anything that you want. Some people believe in Snoopy. Some people believe in watermelon rinds is God. You can believe anything that you want to. More power to you. That's on you. That's on you. These men that's locked up behind bars, but they have girlfriends and wives, even get married behind bars. And here you are. You want to bring this crap and blame everybody except yourself. At the same time, there are people who are mentally retarded, get married, have families. There are blind people. There are people with all kinds of handicaps. Don't have no legs, but they married. They blind, but they married with relationship. But the government is against you. The women. I'm not going to involve myself in these petty, oh, the women this and the man garbage. Stop being making excuses for yourself. I don't have a mate. I choose to be by myself because I like it like that. After being in a mental institution, I like being by myself. It could change at any moment. And when I decide I want to meet somebody and I'll do something about it. Yeah, of course. You have to make yourself the best way that you can in order to attract a mate. You don't want to do that. You think some woman just supposed to lie down with you because I'm lonely, I'm a man alone. How? Corny. That's garbage. Well, I got money. I got a nice car. Why these women don't like me? Because they don't like you. You cannot force nobody to like you. Just like I'm not going to force nobody to watch these videos. You can watch this video. You can, and if you don't want, you don't have to. It's no skin on my nose. I don't care. I'm not looking for thousands and thousands of videos. Who cares? Doesn't make any difference. But at the same time, just because you don't like what I said, I don't go around cussing people out. You don't like what I said. You a fool. You need therapy. Childish. So I'm not going to involve myself. And this is the last time I'm going to address. Because you must show me, if you want my attention, you show me how the hell can people locked up have relationships, and here you are, free men and women with good jobs and whatever. You can't have nobody. You got to bring the world. But here these people are, and I was locked up. We had relationships with people. Something is wrong. You're an excuse maker. Stop making excuses. And if you want somebody to listen to your point of view, hollering and screaming, cussing people out, talk about they deserve to be in a mental institution, or they need therapy, or all this other foolishness, how are you going to get your message across? Judge Judy said, if it don't make sense, chances are it's not true. What is being said to us or offered to the public as true forced loneliness sounds like a bunch of excuse making. Doesn't make sense. So if it doesn't make sense, chances are it's not true. And if it is true, then stop hollering at people, stop screaming at them, being pissed off because they're angry. You don't believe what I said. I can believe. Well, you believe that, and go on and keep doing what you got to do. And I guess you be planning on your next murder, right? Because y'all understand murder. You understand death and killing. Because I'm lonely. This is your brother Taalik, Ibn'rad. And I got to go and leave you lonely. Sorry, that's how it is. That's the way it is with, just like me. I'm lonely. So what? Peace from the lonely guy. Alrighty then. Let me get a little comfortable. Peace forever and always. Welcome to another edition. It seems that there's a whole lot of editions. And the reason for that is because you never know what's around the corner, and tomorrow is not promised. So if it is possible, go ahead and do what you can do today. So that's why I do the videos I do, because there's no guarantee that I'll be here tomorrow to tell you what I was thinking of today. Again, welcome to the Reality's Temple on Earth, and I am your host, Brother Taalik Ibn'rad. This message goes out to those people who may be described as Caucasians or white people. Now, those Caucasians or white people that subscribe to my channel, of course you know this message is not for you, because we've been around a while. Some of you have personally emailed me, so you know where I stand on this issue. So, but if you want to listen, and if you are a descendant of a slave, call yourself black or African American or whatever you may be, I mean, you can also listen to this video too. Plus, do I have a choice? I want to say to these Caucasians that here, now I talk a rough on my videos, there's no doubt about that, but I talk rough because those of whom I am speaking with are rough. They are evil and they are wicked. They have that type of mentality, or they have done these things. So you don't take marshmallows when you're trying to hunt a lion. You have to bring some type of force. You have to show that lion that you mean business. Now, unlike some black people, they will ask the question very quickly, "What good white people? I don't know none. Ain't no such thing as a good white person." See, now here is where I differ, in that here on the Realities Temple on earth, I will treat you with justice and being fair. I don't put all white people in the same category. Unlike some white people put all blacks or those of us who are descendants of slaves in the same category. We're drug dealers. I don't do drugs and I don't deal them. They say that we run around and I'm not on welfare. I don't have out of wedlock babies. But when they speak of all. So when I speak about Caucasian people, I'm speaking about a particular person. I'm using adjectives to describe a certain Caucasian person. And if that is not describing you, why are you getting so upset? The good white people, I'm going to be just and fair. Unlike some people. I'm not going to blame you for something that you did not do or had nothing to do with. So don't call me no racist, and don't be calling me, because if you do, that's very silly. As a fair and just person, I don't want to see a Caucasian man or woman on the street homeless begging for nickels and dimes. I don't want to see you starving. I want you to live the happiest life that you can be. Unfortunately, we cannot change the past or fix the past, but what we can do in our lifetimes is to accept what has happened and try to heal that injury in the best and honest way that we can. And we cannot do that by being politically correct, because politically correct always seems as though black people get the short end of the stick. If you are a Caucasian person and you claim righteousness and you are good, why do you get upset because I talk about your forefathers who were racist and they weren't good? And this you will agree. This nation ran by your forefathers legalized slavery for 300 years. And the good white people that you say had no effect on this for 300 years. Or are you like your fathers? Do you like your position? You like being on top? You like this slave-master relationship? As long as black people don't want nothing, you smile in their face. And of course you stab us in the back. That's not what this is about. You should be about solving the problems of humanity and bringing all people together. And you don't mind saying that, America, as long as y'all run it. You like to run things. but you done run things in the ground. You done done things to cause hatred. You have done things to cause murder and chaos and anarchy. You do these things and then put your hand behind your back like you didn't do nothing, like you angels. Well, I'm not going to talk to you like no angel because you're not. Why, if you are a good white person or a righteous white person, why do you want to come here and defend evil people? I'm not talking about Caucasian people that had nothing to do with slavery. But there are those who are the descendants of those, and they still benefit from the richness of slavery. They still benefit. They have done nothing to help the descendants of slaves. This nation didn't even give us the 40 acres and a mule. They didn't do nothing for us. Why should we, the descendants of slaves, suffer like we do when this nation made trillions of dollars from us? And you talk about the little welfare a few black women get. And you give billions and billions of dollars of welfare to General Motors, to Chrysler, to the Bank of America. You can give them billions of dollars. But you don't want to give and help the descendants of slaves who've been catching hell in this nation for over 300 years. And you want to call yourself good. Good for nothing. You're not fair. You're not just. You just want to run things. And you got a lot of black people that's silly and scared of you. Because they think you the stuff. You don't have no respect for them. It was a white woman that helped me to learn the law. She risked her job bringing me law books when I was locked up. Don't bring that crap to me. Talk about I'm a racist. Why would I call this white woman, this beautiful Caucasian lady? And I'm going to say that because what she done was a beautiful thing. She didn't have to do a damn thing for me. I got promises from a black woman that's supposed to have law books. She never brought me no law book. Just run her mouth. But this white woman did do that. Why would I hate her when she helped me? I remember going to Chicago. My car did a 360 and I flipped in a ditch. I know on that interstate it had to be a lot of black people, but as soon as I went down in that ditch, all kinds of cars stopped, and they was all white people that got me out the ditch and wanted to see if I was all right. So I don't want to hear that hatred, hating, prejudice bull crap. Because when it's all said and done, before a black person might help you, some white person will do good to you. So, and if you pass up that good nature, remember, you fall into this same crap that they pull on us. Oh, the black people this and the black people that. You fall there and say, now it's the white folks this and the white folks that, and they do this and that and that and that. Then you miss out on the good nature of people. We were all tricked by white supremacy. White people were victims of white supremacy. White supremacy was created, and this hatred was created so they can make money off slavery. That's what it was all about. Anything in America is about money. So they trained white people to hate black so they could do their thing on making money and profit off free slave labor. It ain't about hate, but y'all fall for the trick. And if you're a good white person or a good white man, then stop getting on my case and defending the evil that some Caucasian people have done, because I don't defend the evil that blacks do. Understand? You got it? Peace. Peace forever and always. This is your brother Taalik Ibn'rad, and this is the Reality's Temple on Earth. Please excuse the lighting of this video because it is still bad weather here in this area, stormy, lightning and rain. So with that said and out of the way, give you guys a weather report where I stay. With that being told, let us get into the subject of this video, which is very quick when we have a lot to talk about. This video is a message to black women or the black female. Actually, it could be for any woman, not necessarily black women, but because my audience is primarily black females, then I would direct this message towards them. Black women, you are an amazing creation of this universe. There's no doubt about that, and it is sad when men mistreat you so bad because they really don't know whom they are messing with. I want to warn you about this thing, feeding your children with a bottle made of plastic and these chemicals they call Similac, these Enfamil, these formulas. Your child was not designed to drink this manufactured poison, and that's what it is, because it's not natural for your baby. In this world, you woman, black woman, and women in general, you have been made to believe, and in this society, you have been made to feel as though your breasts are just objects of something for men to play with, and something nasty and vile not to be seen in public because of those things. Your breast, woman, and any breast from any female mammal was designed in order to give nutrition to a baby. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's what your breasts are for. But you have been made to believe and feel as though that's vile. You are uncomfortable with doing something as natural as feeding your child on your breast. That's who or whom your breasts were made for. Your baby, your child. When you place that child on your breast, not only are you giving that child critical nourishment, but you bringing a closeness, a human emotion, a feeling to your baby, a connection. When you place your child on a bottle made out of plastic and Enfamil, Similac, then you're taking away or depriving the child of that critical in its beginnings of life human contact. So since we were and have been raised on plastic bottles and fake milk, is it no surprise that we are fake and we are cold and heartless like that plastic bottle? We have no compassion, we have no emotions. In fact, many of us hate our mothers and we hate women. How is this possible? This is possible because we were raised on a plastic bottle. There is no spiritual or mental connection to another human being. And if it's not the bottle, we give our children cow's milk. Cow's milk was designed and made for a baby cow. You born a child of infant human being, to give a cow's milk to an infant human being, is in the critical stages of development, causing harm to a new life. But at the same time, you have no problems taking your breast and allowing a man, or perhaps a woman, with 32 teeth in their mouth. And this is what I hear all the time. I don't want my baby to breastfeed because the baby, when the teeth come, they'll bite my breast. But you don't mind this person with 32 teeth in his mouth to bite your breast. Matter of fact, you said, oh, it feels good when it hurt like that. You are sad because you have no emotional connection, because chances are you were also raised on cow's milk, infant milk, Similac, and that cold, heartless plastic bottle. This is so sad. So why is it a shock that we don't see that why the human being is such a bad condition that we find ourselves in? The baby has to go through so many problems, even in its beginning. Not to talk about drinking old cold baby bottle. Oh, well, we warm it up. Duh. Okay, warm the Similac up. But what about the sperm? The baby starts off with bad sperm because many of these fathers are drunkards. They're dope fiends. They don't take care of themselves. So you got bad sperm to begin with. Then these mothers, they are also dope fiends. They don't take care of themselves. They are alcoholics. So you got drunk eggs and you got drunk sperm, and they come together. Then the baby drinks Similac from a plastic bottle. And you wonder why the world is in the condition that it is in today. Because the human being, in its very beginning, in its very origins, when it was nothing to speak of, it came from bad building material. If we took the sperm and the eggs, or the ovum in which many of us have been formed from, and we compare that to wood and use that wood to build a house, we would be a bad house to live in. It would be falling apart. Weak wood. You don't just use any kind of wood to build a house. You use the strongest, the toughest, in order to build a house that's going to stand, be able to bear with the weather, and stand for years and years and years. This is why the human family is crumbling and has crumbled, because it was crumbling from its very beginning. Bad sperm, bad eggs. Now you have human beings walking the planet, heartless. They care about animals. You know why? Because they was raised on animal milk. They care more about animals than they do human beings because they were raised on animal milk. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you, woman? Then, you don't know, woman, but in your milk, you carry strength that you can give to that baby, antibodies. Go look it up. All kinds of antibodies and enzymes in your milk that's good for your baby, to help your baby be strong, to help your baby think, because in the beginnings of development is the brain. But if the brain has been made out of bad and poor materials, chemicals, manufactured Similac, sucking on a bottom, the residue off of oil, petroleum products, what you think that's going to do to the poor baby's brain? Make us unable to think. And many of us, and it's very clear here on YouTube, that's the main problem. I am so fortunate myself. I was raised on the breast. I'm a breastfed baby. Maybe that's the reason why I have this thing about thinking for myself, because the material, even though my father wasn't the greatest or my mother wasn't the greatest, but maybe because of the material I was given at an early age, helped form my brain so it can operate a little bit better. Some of you said, I don't see that. I don't see your brain working so hard. Of course you wouldn't see it. Because you're caught up in something that's unnatural. Take that old man off your breast, women, and put your baby back on. This is your brother Taalik Ibn'rad. This was, and keep listening to, the Realities Temple on Earth. Peace.
Peace forever and always. Welcome to another edition of the Realities Temple on Earth. Your host is His Divine Masculine Brother AdMinister Taalik Ibn'rad.